Hello, my name is John Krehbiel. It's a privilege to be part of such a wonderful community service. Thank you for the opportunity to share stories about how the Ballard Center is indeed changing the lives of children and families in our community through a variety of programs and services that help families become more self-sufficient. The Ballard Center has been responding to the needs of families in the Lawrence community for over half a century. Most of you know that the Ballard Center offers early childhood education. What you may not be aware of is what makes us unique. We believe that all children, regardless of income, deserve the opportunity to receive an early childhood education. This is why financial support services are in place to ensure that all our children are able to remain enrolled. We also know that if children go to bed hungry, if they are not sure where they will sleep at night, well, then they won't learn. This is why we offer wraparound services that not only support the children, but the entire family. Today, as you can imagine, the work we do is more important than it ever has been. The families we serve who were already struggling and already impacted by trauma are now really struggling. Just in the last 5 months, the Ballard staff and board have been working very closely with our community partners to continue meeting the high volume of pleas for help that we are receiving at Ballard daily. Despite the shortage of staff able to work, we've managed to continue distributing rent and utility assistance, and our pantry reopened on a limited basis on June 6th. And since then, we've distributed 4,415 meals provided to community families. We have provided 42 boxes of toiletries, diapers, and other essentials. We have delivered 82 learning kits to support children's learning at home. We have linked 33 families with community volunteers as part of an adopt-a-family program where community members assisted with meals, assisted with cleaning supplies, and other immediate needs. And we provided $4,500 in rent and utility assistance, allowing 24 families to remain safely in their homes. It's investing in successful adults 20 and 30 years from now and in their children. This is the reason we forge ahead. This is the reason why we're here today.
My name is Elson Martinez. I am a father first and foremost. I'm a barber. I have 2 boys. Victor is 11. Eliseo was 6. I raised them on my own. I don't even like to say that. I'm raising them, and I am doing my best at it, I guess. Well, back in 2011, I don't know what the boy's mom was going through, and she just asked me really, what would I do if I gave you Victor? And I thought she meant for the weekend, so I told her I would take him to the park and take him to the movies and stuff. And she's like, no, what would you do if I give him to you for life, forever? I said, that's fine. Give him, I'll take him. What can I do? I'll take him. Cool, I'll do it. It was so weird. It was at a bank. It was raining. She handed over the little car seat. I took Mijo. And I don't know, I just felt so bad. I gave her like $100. I said, here's $100. I don't know what you're going through. You got to keep in mind, I wasn't in my right mind either. So I just jumped into that like as if I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. And I go to AA and NA regularly. That helps me to stay clean. 8 p.m.'s usually the meeting I go to, and I get out at 9. And I can remember I looked at the clock and it was like 8:55. So I decided to share. And whenever I got done sharing, everybody kind of felt what I was saying, they can relate. And it made me feel some kind of way, like all mushy, all good inside. And then I started getting really hot. and my stomach started getting really hot, and all of a sudden just like this headache just came across me, and I remember just getting my keys out of my pocket and yelling to whoever would listen, like, I can't see, can somebody please get my son, and here's my car keys. When one of my bros took me, I thought I just needed a shower, a cold shower. So he took me to my house because he goes, you want to go to the hospital or you want to go home to your house? And I go, just take me to my house. I'm going to jump in the shower. And I crawled up the stairs, turned the cold water on with all my clothes on, and I sprayed the water on me, and it wouldn't stop. And then I crawled back down the stairs. Can you just take me to the hospital? And then my Oxford brothers, my roommates, they're like, let's go. They took me. Eventually they had to do CAT scans, and they found that I had a thrombosis, bleeding on my brain, and so they took me to the KU Med, and I stayed there for 2 weeks. I got out of there, thank God. I couldn't really walk, I couldn't see. Ballard Center has actually, they fed me. When I say me, I mean me and my boys. They provided us with backpacks and clothes. They stepped in really strong, like I said, making sure that we're fed, making sure that like my rent, my bills were paid when I couldn't. They just helped amazingly without really being asked. It's like they know you need help and they're there. Because of the virus and the shutdown of what I do for a living, barber, I really couldn't afford gas in the car to go places. So I had reached out to Ballard and I asked them, do you happen to have any bikes? I just threw that out there, not knowing that they were like, oh yeah, we do. Come and get them, literally come and get them. Here's the code for the lock on the sheds. You can go pick some. That's awesome. Take what you need, Being trusted is one thing, and, being able to, again, teach my boys, hey, look, they're going to help us out with bikes. All you got to do is pick them. And I picked the ones that, needed, that were suitable for my boys. Man, my son knows how to ride a bike now, my youngest, because of the bike that was gifted. They helped me to help others. Me and my boys did food deliveries, boxes. My boys were so excited to be able to get out of the house and do that. And that just helps me to teach my boys that it's always better to give anyway. And that's because Ballard helped me to present that to my boys. As a father and as the only figure that's right now in their life, I get the opportunity to be able to continue to learn and have people to help me to help them. Not being from this community and, being welcome, the Ballard Center has reached out and helped me so much that all I could really do to repay is ask how can I be of service to them. So thank you very much for that, everything you've done.
Hi, I'm Becky, and I've been the director of Ballard Center for almost 4 years now. And as we all adjust to this time and the impact that COVID has had on our community and on our lives, I think it's important sometimes to stop and I think about what we're grateful for. I am so grateful for the Ballard staff and board members who have stepped up and helped us all get through this. We already had the ability and the knowledge to address the collective trauma that our kids, our staff, and the families and clients we serve were dealing with. Ballard Center is really good at thinking outside of the box. We are experts at getting things free. We are experts at finding donors who will help us, who will donate their time and their energy. You'd be really surprised at how much money you can save to get a general, a real general, to fix a toilet. We are experts at finding legal assistance pro bono. I've found that once I find an attorney who will dedicate and agree to help one client, that once they've done that, Rarely do, when I go back and ask for more help, do they say no. They see firsthand the impact and the help they did can truly change lives. I think most importantly, what Ballard is, our staff have already been really good at, is giving hope. Right now, that's one of the things we all need. Our world is upside down. We're unable to see our family, our loved ones. Many of us have lost jobs, and we're all dealing with this stress in different ways. Ballard Center has the ability to help give hope. In order for us to help our clients to become self-sufficient, we have to have the funds to do so. And we have to identify avenues and ways that we can make sure that we help them. It is devastating when somebody comes to you and you can't help. The stories that the staff hear daily, the people that come to us are very humbled, and it's hard to ask for help. And for us to be able to help them, we just need the resources too. I know when I held the first gala, when I first started for Ballard, and we needed money desperately. And then as the years went on and we built up our resources and we were doing great, we finally had the opportunity to start breathing and to purchase the culturally diverse books that we need, and to not worry about the fact that we're out of cots. We finally built up our resources, and now it feels like we're back to that point. We're back to the point where to keep the doors open, we just need assistance. We need help to continue serving these kids.
I'm Stephanie West Potter, and my wife and I are foster parents of 4-year-old Vinny and 5-year-old Frankie. They are both diagnosed with autism and were severely neglected and possibly abused, and have some pretty significant developmental delays because of that, along with their autism diagnosis. And it was a really huge struggle for us to find childcare. You know, we wanted to be parents more than anything, and we had to decide what were we going to do in this situation. And luckily, we found Ballard, and we fell in love with the building right away. When we pulled into the parking lot, I remember my wife and I sitting in the car, and I grabbed her hand and squeezed it before we walked in, saying, I really hope this is gonna work for us. And the more and more we heard about the services being offered, like music therapy being an option, and all the wraparound services that we didn't know we would eventually need. And we just fell in love with the community, and were very nervous when it came time for our home visit because it required a screening about the boys. And at that time, that was the first time that the boys had been screened in our care. And it was really emotional to have on paper the extent of their delays. And to know how much work they were going to need to be successful was really, really emotional. And I broke down, and the Ballard staff that was there with us just grabbed me and hugged me and said, it's gonna be fine. They're going to be amazing. You are going to give them so much love, and with that love, they are just going to flourish. So I was very excited when we got the call that the boys could start the next week. And it was a very challenging transition from the boys never being in childcare before to all of a sudden being in a school setting with structure. And Vinny, the youngest, he does have, at that time, he had very significant behaviors. He was hitting and biting, and we were very attached. He did not let go of me for more than seconds at a lot of times. So when we were doing our first drop-off, and drop-offs for the next month or so, Mitra, his teacher, was exactly what I needed, just as much as what he needed, because Mitra would let me cry with Vinny. She would just grab him and hold him, and I would know he was safe and protected. These are things that I needed just as much as the boys needed. One of the huge things that we were connected with was Autism Services of Kansas. It has been amazing. It's been completely life-changing. We've also been very fortunate to have some legal advice given to us, and luckily Ballard has stepped in to provide that legal assistance for us to just get some information. We also have received mental health support for the boys, and just having someone to listen to me. Again, whenever I'm just overwhelmed and I need to be reassured that everything is fine. So when COVID happened, our lives were changed as if everyone else's were. My wife is an ER nurse, and so being on the front line meant she wasn't really able to be there to help support the challenges we now have of having the boys at home and no longer having special education and structure. So I was learning how to become a therapist and a special ed teacher and trying to make sure they didn't kill each other. And so it was very challenging. And to have meals delivered to our house, it was a game changer for us. For Vinny, it's really challenging to take him places. And so just to have lunch dropped off in the middle of the day made my life so much easier. And they went as far as to deliver this ginormous bag of Chex Mix with a note to Vinny on it because they know that's his favorite snack. It was amazing. And then we also received education materials to help me continue their education that I was trying to work on. You know, they're making so much progress, and to have that pressure put on me of now I need to do everything I can to make sure that they don't regress at all during this time. And so the stress of that was huge. We were also adopted by 2 families that delivered food to us as well and made us awesome breakfast burritos that we could just heat up in the morning. It's just very convenient things that were beyond helpful. And I was unable to work during that time as well because I had to stay home with the boys, and it was really impossible for me to do anything other than to just be a mom at that time. And it's super hard to even think about the fact that we had to receive these gifts from people because before this, we were always the donors. We would have never thought that we would be in this position, that we would be asking for help for anything. So, and actually the best part about it is that we didn't have to ask. And then also, Elson, he came over and cut the boys' hair in our house the other day. So it's just connecting us with resources because Vinny cannot have a haircut out in public. It's a thing. More than anything that Ballard has given us, it's given us a community. Megan and I are not from Lawrence, so to have the support here of knowing that we have babysitters that came from Ballard, that everyone from Bernice, whenever I walk in the door to drop Vinny off, telling me that I'm gonna have a great day, and just that greeting changes the way that your day starts. And she cried with me the first time that I dropped Vinny off in Mitra's class and Vinny didn't cry. I walked out of the classroom and just broke down and she cried with me, and just knowing that everyone is so involved in the boys' lives. I will honestly say that Ballard has changed our lives and that we are beyond blessed to have such an amazing resource in our community, and people that think that they don't need services have no idea what could happen in their lives. I mean, we didn't expect a pandemic to hit, and we didn't expect to need food. We didn't expect to need assistance with bills or any kind of help that we've received. This isn't something we ever thought would happen. And to know that Ballard is there in so many ways, that it's just such a comfort. And although the boys won't be in the early childhood program forever, unfortunately, we know that Ballard will be here for us and they will always be part of our family. And I'm just so grateful that we have had such an amazing community and a great support, because we couldn't do without them. So I'm really appreciative.
So the stories you've heard points to the broadness of the Ballard Center and all of our services. Each family that we serve has a unique set of needs, and we're changing lives by trying our very best to respond to those needs. The only way that we are able to do this is to work together in partnership with other community organizations and with the help of, well, generous supporters like you. As the needs increase, the additional cost of assuring the children and the staff's safety has created an additional financial strain. The only avenues for cutting cost is to consider letting staff go. Our only options are to let teachers go, which means we would then have to disenroll children from families unable to pay tuition, or perhaps lay off education administrative staff, which results in no longer offering our safety net services. So your support's pretty important. It literally can and will change lives. Your support will assure that we can continue to do all of that we can continue to make the kind of lasting impact on the lives of these kids that you've heard about here today. A lasting impact by offering these kids and their families hope and offering them help that they all need so desperately. Your financial support will provide direct and, most importantly, immediate support for these kids and for these families. Your generosity today is extremely important. I can't emphasize enough how important your generosity is going to be. And so I want to thank you in advance for your support. I want to thank you in advance for your very gracious support. So here it is. Here's the ask. Here's the opportunities that each and every one of us here today have in front of us. While I can't tell you exactly what $20,000 will do, I can tell you what just the impact of COVID has done to us. I can tell you since COVID hit us that we have lost $25,000 in lost tuition fees alone during the 10 weeks that the Ballard was closed. We're down $4,800 a month on average as our enrollment has dropped since we reopened. And I can tell you that since we reopened, we are spending an average of about $2,000 per month above our original budget for additional staff to meet these new health and safety requirements. And I can tell you that we're spending about $1,000 a month for personal protection equipment such as gloves, masks, and disinfecting products to again assure that our classrooms, our children, and our teachers are safe. And an $8,040 donation will assure the tuition cost for that child to attend Ballard for a year. You know, annual costs such as child care is kind of comparable to college tuition. In our case, and for these families, paying this themselves is on average about 85% of their total income. Well, research shows that incidents of abuse increase when life is disrupted by a natural disaster. $5,000 donation to Ballard will assure Ballard is able to continue to implement trauma-informed services. Today, families are under a tremendous amount of stress. A $3,000 donation will assure families have the safety net resources provided through our Family Stabilization Program. That support is a connection to an affordable doctor or a connection to a mental health professional. A $1,000 donation will assure that basic necessities such as food, diapers, clothing, and household goods are always available in emergencies, primarily through our pantry. That's $83 per month. That's $3 per day. A $500 donation will cover the cost associated with assuring a family has heat, that it's turned on and it's kept on when the first freeze hits. 543 family members received financial assistance from us. A $200 donation will help keep our seasonal events alive. Those seasonal events are our holiday bureau, toys, and kindergarten graduation. $200 would cover the cost of providing 3 families with gifts for the holidays. That's only $16 a month for what some of us spend on one meal out. You would be able to make a measurable impact. A $100 donation will assure that our classrooms are and remain supplied. Supplied with things like crafts, books, rugs, sleeping mats. We are constantly replenishing supplies and replacing worn out items. It's been an incredible pleasure sharing the dream of helping others make their lives better. It's not every day that people like you and I get that opportunity. That opportunity exists because of good communities like Lawrence. There's no doubt about that. But that opportunity also exists because of generous people like you. People that are willing to use their time and to use their resources to make a difference.